The application of Giromax Roofcoat can be done in several ways depending on the nature of the project. Spraying is the most efficient method, especially over large areas, however it can also be applied by roller or by brush. Before deciding on the method of application, considerations should include weather and situation. Spray application should not be undertaken in windy conditions. If work is being undertaken in a busy area with cars parked close by or passengers below, using a roller to apply the roof coat might be the better option. Base coat should be at least touch dry before continuing. If the base coat has been left without roof coat for any length of time, then it will need to be re-cleaned, lightly keyed and wiped with Giromax panel wipe before proceeding to remove any new contaminants which could cause adhesion issues in the future. As with other Giromax products, no application should take place in temperatures below 5 degrees Celsius or with the potential to drop below 5 degrees Celsius before curing. Below this temperature there's a risk of ice forming on the substrate which will prevent the long-term adhesion of the product. In temperatures at the lower end of the application range, roof coat will become thicker. In these circumstances, a small amount of Giromax thinner may be added to keep the product workable. We strongly advise using as little as possible. If it is required, then the maximum ratio is 1 litre of thinner to each 15 litre drum of roof coat. If thinner is used, then ensure it's thoroughly mixed and no air is introduced into the roof coat during the process. Application should not take place when temperatures are above 35 degrees Celsius. The paint itself must always be thoroughly mixed before use, ideally using a mechanical paddle. Ensure that no moisture gets into the paint at any point during its use. Even an open tin left unattended will attract moisture from the air. Moisture will initiate the curing process and it will start to skin over, thicken up generally or in localized areas, creating lumps which will create issues with the spray machines. If spray applying, then start the application by cutting in around sensitive areas where care is needed not to create overspray. This includes along the gutter edge and around roof lights and along the edges of the building. Roof coat should be brush or roller applied to these areas, creating a band of around 400mm. Roof coat should be applied at a minimum wet film thickness of 230 microns in one coat. Do not feather the application as this will reduce the thickness you're looking to achieve. Spray application to the remaining area should take place once the cutting in is complete. You will need an airless spray machine that is capable of producing a minimum pressure of 3300 psi at the tip. For further guidance on spray machine setup, please see the Guidance for Spray Application of Roof Coat information sheet. All applications, whether brush, roller or spray applied, need to achieve a minimum coverage of 230 microns wet film thickness. This will produce a resultant dry film thickness of 200 microns. A wet film thickness gauge, which is readily available online, should be used regularly to check that the correct application rate is being achieved. Giromax roof coat must be applied in one coat. Regardless of the method of application, on average, a 15 litre tin of roof coat should cover up to 58 square metres of roof sheet. It should be noted that this coverage can reduce considerably due to poor application methods, inadequate machine maintenance and weather. To ensure that the correct coverage is achieved, it's useful to mark out the area that each tin should cover prior to application. Remember to consider the expansion of the corrugations when doing this. Ensure even coverage along the sides of the corrugations is achieved, as well as across the peaks and troughs. If thinner is used, then a thicker wet film thickness will need to be calculated and applied to achieve the required dry film thickness. This is because the thinner introduced into the mix will vaporize from the product as it cures. Contact a Giromax Technical Services Manager for further guidance. Giromax roof coat will take 4 to 6 hours to become touch dry and full cure will take 7 days.